What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Pillow Talk with Paul Goneau. Today, my guest is father, comedian, and wrestler John Greed.
Hey, man.
Hey, brother.
How's it going? I appreciate that you called me a comedian, because I've only ever done one time that I got paid for.
Yeah.
That was you.
Well, you were really good on that show, man. You were really good. And I'm not just, kissing ass. I was, pretty blown away with how funny you were, and following Miguel was no easy task.
That
and
sucked.
you handled it well. He ended up winning, I believe.
He
so
sure
I mean,
did. He
yeah.
sure did. Honestly, I did a bunch of open mics beforehand, obviously, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is all right. Some people laugh. It's kind of fun. And then you asked me to do your thing, and I'm like, all right. And then I went and did your thing, not expecting anything. And people actually laughed a lot. And I was like, oh, okay. So this is what comedy is. It's not the open mic thing. It's these people have paid to come and laugh at you. This is what comedy is. And I was like, yeah. Okay, I want to chase this now.
Yeah.
And I've been chasing that feeling.
That's cool.
Since that show.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yeah.
I want to get you. I actually want to get because I know quite a few wrestlers that are dabbling in comedy, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd like to get just an all wrestler Laughateria show at some point.
All right.
I'd like to do that.
I feel like I could win that one.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of funny wrestlers. That's why I was like, oh, definitely I'm having you on. We're going to do funniest wrestlers for top 5, which was it's weird because I've done top 5 wrestlers and tag teams and whatever. And it's these funny, other than maybe a couple people, they're so different. And and I don't know exactly what you categorize your character as. But I've seen, I don't know, a funny side of you, and I've also seen just this menacing side of you. Recently you did a promo for Top Tier, and formerly OTT.
Yep.
And where you're kind of just a little angry that you have to fight for the new belt.
Yeah, it's because it was OTT, and then they had to cancel a show, and then it was just gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they took a hiatus. And what I did in the promo, they didn't tell me to do that. I was just my brain thinking about it. Okay, this is gonna make sense. So they changed the name, and there's not really. I guess I'm trying to create a story.
Yeah,
that's not there because.
Well, it's kind of there.
Contrary to popular belief, the people who run the show aren't the ones who are coming up with the stories half the time.
Yeah.
You're coming up with the story and you're presenting it to them, and they're like, all right, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just kind of go from there. My character is me. The Rock, Stone Cold, anybody, when you listen to them in interviews, what they're going to say is the best characters are your own personality, just with the volume turned all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
I take that in stride, and I'm me. That's what I am.
Yeah.
Which is not true at all.
Well, you don't think it's true? What The Rock said? Or...
No, what they said is correct, but
okay.
Me, I think I am the person that I portray, but when I'm not in front of a camera or in front of a crowd, I'm not that guy.
Yeah,
I'm just not. I'm very quiet and reserved. And then when you get around a group of people, sure, I'll talk shit and make people laugh and try and be funny and do the whole thing, and it works. But I'm really nervous about this right now.
Oh yeah,
I'm super nervous.
Wow.
I
would never.
I don't want to shit the bed. I really don't want to do that.
There's literally no shitting the bed here. There's no pressure at all, man.
Every time I get asked to do one, I'm like, all right, man. Yeah, sure, no problem. And then building up to it, I think I'm gonna suck. Because I hate everything that I do. Everything.
Even wrestling as well?
Everything. I hate it. I hate
really?
Everything I do.
You're so good, man.
I can't stand watching it. I think I suck. Beforehand, I was like, all right, I got it. We're good. And then we go through the curtain and we do the thing. And then I come out, it's like, fuck, I'm terrible. I'm the worst. I suck at this. A lot of tag team stuff that I'm doing, because I do a lot more tag team stuff now than single stuff. The person that I'm teaming with, they come through what the fuck are you talking about? That was awesome.
Yeah.
No, man, I suck. I did so bad.
Yeah.
You were there for me and Ricky. We went a fucking hour.
That was a great match.
We went an hour in a steel cage. I came back and I'm like, oh fuck, was so goddamn long. I took forever to do.
Oh, that was
these
such a
things.
good match, man.
Yeah, everybody. And then I
It's a
watched
great
it.
match.
That one I did watch back the Rogers feed.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm not that great. I'm just kind of standing there for a lot of it while other things are going, and I should be doing more things. But that's not the case at all. Like, it wasn't on me. It was on them on the floor doing all of their stuff while I'm just there. I shouldn't be doing anything because then I'm taking away from them. But in my head, it's like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just standing there. Why am I here?
It's so odd that you decided to, like, go to... Because clearly you're an artist. That's just, I feel like a true artist mentality is like, freaking 20 things could go right, and then one thing goes wrong, and you're like, fuck this, it was horrible, and you just dwell on the one, because, like, from what you're saying, like, I've had plenty of shows where I get off, I got some laughs, but maybe, like, I didn't word things the way I wanted, or I missed a sentence that would have led to, like, you know, the punchline being funnier, or whatever the case is, and I'm just dwelling on something small, everyone had a good time. And I go back to my lady, and she's like, oh, you were great, you know? And she gives me kind of that... and I don't think it's necessarily always true. Like, for sure, sometimes, like, you want to put a magnifying glass on what you're doing just so you can see all the little things, maybe tweak them, and just make things better. But there's definitely a line where it's just sometimes you're just being too hard on yourself. Do you feel that way? Because I feel that way. I'm learning to be more comfortable feeling that way, and it was something that was hard for me at first. But, like, you're definitely. I don't want to like sound like a kiss. You're not as bad as you think. That's for damn sure. At wrestling or comedy or anything I've ever seen you do. So, like, why would you... How did you actually get into comedy? Was it just something like you're, you know, talking shit in the back with, like, Tomer or something, and people are like, you're funny, dude.
Tomer's the funniest dude.
He is a really funny dude. It's weird that he hasn't tried doing stand-up.
Oh, it's English.
It doesn't matter, man. It would...
Yeah, I know.
It would work.
Psy's fucking hilarious. I love that guy.
But, like, how did that come to be?
Doing comedy?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where when you're in a group of people and you're just being funny in a group of people, which is totally different from standing on a stage and talking into a microphone, and they're like, you should be a comedian. And it's like, oh yeah, maybe I should, maybe. And that was like years of people saying that, and years and years and years, and then just one day, Holden, Brendan?
Yeah.
What did he call himself on the show?
Brendan.
Yeah. He's like, I did comedy. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then I went with him and tried it and liked it.
Did you guys go to the lab, comedy lab?
Yeah, we did. No, what's the first one? I think the first one I did was the Sidekick.
Okay.
Which was an odd choice for me because it's clean and I don't know how to work at all. So let's figure out how to work clean.
Clean stuff is not... Yeah, it's not easy.
I fail every time. Every single time.
Sorry. Shouldn't have said that. Sorry.
Like, don't talk about dicks, but it's like my whole thing is dicks. No, it's not.
You gotta toss one in there.
You gotta do it. Dicks are funny.
Yeah.
They're ugly, but
I did a
funny.
show at, like, an art gallery, and I had, like, quite a few poop jokes. And I made it a point to, like, tell that kind of humor where I was, just because I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, that makes
sense. They hit, you know? They're classic. They're...
You want to, like, do something different that, like, in the space, like, in an art gallery, how often are people talking about poop?
Yeah, right?
So let's do something
Take
different.
advantage of it.
Let's do something different and talk about poop in an art gallery. There we go.
So what do you think is harder, the comedy or the wrestling? Like, not necessarily physically, but, like, maybe mentally.
Each profession has its own thing.
Yeah.
The proponent of both of them is memory and timing.
Yeah.
You have to remember and hit it when you're supposed to hit it. And if you hit it too early, it's not going to...
Then when you have an hour-long cage match, how many spots are fucking in that? Like, realistically.
How many did we plan?
Yeah.
Oh. Not many. A lot of it was on the fly. Like when we were inside in the cage.
Yeah.
The way that I tend to do things is I'll plan the finish and I'll plan the beginning. And then the rest of it is just whatever happens, happens. And we figure it out when we're in there.
All right. How long you been wrestling now?
I'm going into year 13.
13.
Yeah, I started when I was 25, which is old in wrestling time.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm 38, which is also old in wrestling time.
So what took you so long? Did you not get into wrestling until you were 25? Or was it just like, maybe like self-doubt? Just couldn't do it or didn't know where to start? Or
when I was a kid, all the way into wrestling. And then you get to that point where wrestling's not cool anymore. Those couple of years where it's like, I'm not a fan of this anymore. Or I'm a secret fan. I don't want anybody to know.
Okay.
And then I got back into it again because of my brother who wanted to train. So I went to Squared Circle Training in Toronto to get information for him at a July open house that they were holding. And Fuego, who became my trainer, probably trying to get a little money out your boy, he's like, hey man, why don't you get in there and try it? And then I got in and I tried it, and I liked it. I'm like, all right, yeah, sure, let's do this thing. I started so late because just like comedy, it's like, oh, I'm not going to be good at this. What am I doing this for? And it's a combination of not knowing where to start and not knowing where to go, and not knowing how to find anything, and procrastination and everything else. It's always like, the regret is always there that I didn't start earlier on all of the things in my life.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel, man.
Yeah.
Just a huge procrastinator as well. And I definitely, sometimes it's weird, man, because like I fell backwards into comedy, like just a bunch of bad shit that happened, and I just started, it was so weird, and I try not to regret anything, and it definitely, comedy was something. I also wanted to be like a rapper at one point. I was in bands in like high school, and I really liked like nu metal. Like, I'm a huge nu metal guy.
Yep.
And so I was trying to bring like that to the table, and just, the band stuff didn't work out, and I was like, I'm gonna be a rapper, and like I wanted to do music, and music is there's just so much money, and so like I went down all these kind of I have a joke about it. Basically, the idea is tell your kids they suck when they suck at things, so they can find what they're good at, And my parents didn't do that because I raised in foster homes and shit. I'm trailing off here, but like I definitely am happy where I'm at. I wonder if 10 years ago I could have handled doing all the different things I'm doing right now, and maybe I couldn't, but I definitely kind of started everything late as well, so I can relate to you. Counseling in an odd way kind of steered me in, like I said, a bunch of things. After the music, it was kind of like cooking. I'm still doing that. That's my 9 to 5. Kind of like losing a little passion in that. I also drove forklift. You were saying you were a forklift driver?
I drive forklift now.
Dude, what do you drive? Like counterbalance?
Counterbalance, but like
Raymond Reach?
Fucking gigantic counterbalance, because I work outside and I load 20-foot pipes onto flatbeds.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I look really funny in a small counterbalance. And I'm like, my elbows are coming out the side. So I switched to working outside so that I could be in the big counterbalance and look like a real person. And like, it's fun sometimes.
But then I ended up going into culinary, and then after that, found comedy, and after that kind of like found wrestling. But it's not that like comedy and wrestling, like they were consistent throughout my life. It's just, especially the reffing. Like I broke my back when I was 16. I would love to be a wrestler, but I was a fucking idiot when I was young. Yeah. And I was skateboarding at some skate park, and there were like these like 11-year-olds, right? And they were doing some like crazy shit that I couldn't do because I was just like A to B kind of skateboarder.
I get you.
And I tried to do some stuff. I injured myself. And like I would love to do actual wrestling, but I just don't think anytime there's like a chance to take a bump, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll be your guy.
Okay.
Last time I took one from fucking Nick Asylum.
Okay.
Adventurer, whatever the fuck he calls himself.
Stone
And
Rockwell,
he just, bro, it killed me. I was like hurt for a week. Like I couldn't breathe. I don't think I could do it. I'd have to, like I'm just clearly a skinny guy. So, you know, I'm trying to bring this kind of, you don't have to be old and bald or gray to like be a ref. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to come out with merch. It's actually, I don't know if I have it on here. I usually don't bust my phone out, but I want to see. So this is what I have, Stick Boy Ref Club. So I'm trying to get some merch of that made, and I don't know, man. Like what are you trying to do, like with your character, and like what's your? I mean, obviously, you know, maybe what's your goal? Because I feel like asking people that are like chasing their dreams, they kind of have different goals. You know, especially for me, learning in comedy, like just people want to just write. People want to do more improv. Like, were you trying to take this? Are you, because I'm talking a lot here, and I promise you I'll finish and get to the point. But like, please. I've never been the kind of guy, like, obviously I would love to get a Netflix special and do that, but I've always been like, I just want to make a living doing the things that I love to do, and anything on top of that is just, you know, icing on the cake.
There it is, pal.
Really?
That's what I want.
See? That's what I'm talking about, man.
It's not like a specific thing. I want to find happiness. I don't know what that is yet.
Yeah.
And when I find happiness, that's what I want. Whatever that may be. When I started, absolutely. I had goals. I wanted to make tons of fucking money and be super famous. Even though I was 25 and really late. Starting and doing like all of this stuff, because there's a very small window to become famous in that wrestling business, really small. And if it passes you, it passes you. It is what it is. There are some who've slipped through the cracks, like Owens, Kevin Steen getting signed later than he did, and then you got LA Knight, who's like the biggest babyface on SmackDown now. He's 40, but he's been grinding forever, everywhere. Yeah, man, I just want to find happiness, and whatever that is, searching for it, and then when I think I find it, and it's like a weird construct, like, did I find it? Am I happy? I don't know, and then I make myself not happy. Maybe.
Well, what is happiness? Let's break that down for a second. Even though we're not maybe not the two kind of guys who should be doing it, but like. To you, what is happiness? Really? Like, what do you think it is? Mm-hmm. Or are you still, you're just like...
That's, yeah, I mean, I found happiness with my kids.
Yeah.
That's happiness.
Yeah.
But
wrestling brings you happiness, no?
It does and it doesn't.
Yeah. You know? It's the artist in you, man.
It's
you gotta weird... just... You gotta learn to accept that you're good at some shit.
I think I'm forcing myself to be on a downturn because I'm older.
Yeah. And how old are you now?
38.
38. See, that's not old. I'm 37, man. I'm 38 in January.
That's what they keep telling me. They keep telling me I'm not old. And,
yeah,
and
dude.
Whatever. But at the same time, in my stupid brain, because it is a stupid brain, because it never stops, which is a weird thing to say, because nobody's brain stops. But I think if I'm on a show, I'm taking away a spot from somebody who's younger who needs it more than I do. Because what am I doing there? Why am I there? I'm not going anywhere. I'm taking up that place. And I don't want to do that. I want to train people. I think that's what I want to do. I found happiness in training people. There was a place during the pandemic.
Yeah. I was doing Muay Thai over the pandemic too, man.
My very good friend Shane Saber opened up, and it was the barn, and it wasn't for anybody. It was for a very secret thing. That's not a secret anymore. Everybody fucking knows about it. That we could go to during the pandemic and practice wrestling and just hang out. And then I went there, and I started helping people. Like, not training, but helping people. And I really liked that. And then there was this guy who wanted to come up and start training. He had never trained before. I'm like, okay, sure. And then we were working with this guy, Darren. I forgot his name for a second. I'm sorry, Darren, if you're watching this. But I remembered it right now. He's in a band whose also name I cannot remember. But it's a very popular band.
Shout out to Darren's band.
Darren Bustancy. He trains at HPW now in Hamilton, I think. I think he still does. I'm not sure. And we were working with him. And I really, really like that. So I think that's my next step. Even though I know nothing about how to get you anywhere, I know how to train you to do the things. And then somebody else can teach you how to get somewhere. Because I've never been anywhere. I've never even done a dark on TV. Never. I've never been with WWE or AEW. I did Ring of Honor one time.
That's pretty dope.
When I was training, I traveled with Michael Elgin, and he got me on just because I was helping pay gas. But any of that stuff that everybody does to make the extra money and get themselves out there and get exposure, I don't know how to do any of that. I don't know how to get in touch with people. I have no clue. None. And I've never been stupid enough to ask, because that's all you really have to do is ask, but I don't know how to ask.
Yeah.
And be annoying, because I hate doing that too. I hate bothering people.
Yeah. Well, maybe you're not bothering people. I don't think a lot of people would think it's bothering them necessarily. But I think what you're saying is kind of nailing it on the head, because when I was going over how I was going to answer while you were talking, because I had no idea what is happiness. It's a pretty broad question, but I don't know if there's one answer. I think how to find happiness is a more of an easy answer for me, and it's just do things. It kind of goes back to what we were saying fucking 10 minutes ago. Just do the things. Pardon?
I didn't answer your question.
You didn't answer my question?
What is happiness? I didn't answer it.
Yeah, it's all right. But you kind of in a roundabout way, you kind of did, because I got to my answer through your words. And you when you're just saying over the pen. By the way, there were a lot of I'm sure a lot more places than people think were open were actually open. I was doing fucking Muay Thai in fucking Milton, and there was lots of just different group chats you could be if you wanted to do something, you could actually make it happen. And actually, that barbecue place was the Adamson Barbecue. Remember, there was a big stink about them. Those charges were dropped recently.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's rightfully so, man. People.
That whole thing was weird, man.
It was did you get vaccinated?
I did, only because I had to.
Me too.
Out of fear that I wouldn't be able to see my kids.
Oh, that's a different. Okay.
Yeah, it's
mine
not
was just work.
It's not for work or anything like that. I got released just prior to the pandemic really getting into full gear. So, I got unemployed, and then the pandemic happened, and everything just kind of went downhill from there.
Did you pick up any hobbies over the pandemic?
Comedy.
Oh, word! That's pretty cool, though. That's all right.
Comedy. I did Twitch streaming, and I still do that, which is fun.
Yeah.
But there comes a point where again I'm in my head thinking I'm 38 years old, sitting here streaming myself playing video games. What am I doing this for?
What do you play?
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been playing Fight Forever?
No. I don't buy things.
Okay.
I find the free stuff, and I play that because I'm cheap.
All right.
But yeah.
Well, playing video games is not cheap anymore, man.
It's not. You gotta get the free ones, like Path of Exile, free. Awesome game.
Do you just do you do Game Pass and things like that? Or are you PlayStation or?
Yeah, okay. I did buy the PlayStation Essential, the most expensive one, because you do get a lot of stuff out of it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Instead of just the 3 games every month that I was getting before, when they introduced it, I'm like, let's do this and see what it's like. And then there's so much.
Yeah.
Okay, this was worth it, even though people are hating it now because they're raising the price, which I understand. But at the same time, if they're raising the price, there has to be something in the pipe that they're going to do. There has to be.
But then there's there's always the deluxe version, the elite deluxe version, and there's $150 games coming out, and I'm no, man.
No, sir.
it's wild, man. Like back in the day, I'm coming from like N64. I remember when South Park came out, and that was a big deal. And I wanted that for my birthday. And I was just told, like, if you want that, that's the only thing you're getting. Like, you're not getting a cake. You're not getting, like, any shit. And I just got that game, and it was like, I thought that was a lot, man. And, like, all the stuff for most of those games, too, for sure there's going to be extra stuff that's going to cost some. It's just weird, man. I really kind of, as you can see, I have a lot of the old school games. Like, I like just buying a game and having it finished. And I didn't know you were a gamer, though.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
I took a break when I got married. And I stopped playing.
Married.
I got married.
How long were you married?
2 years.
2 years. Is that why you did two fingers?
I'm not married. Yeah.
Two fingers.
Yeah. Because I'm not married. I'm not married anymore.
Yes.
I'm separated now.
Yes.
Perfect Dark. Funny story about Perfect Dark.
All right.
I did not know that you needed the game pack for Perfect Dark.
Oh, no.
I have never, ever done the campaign.
Oh, shoot.
I had the game forever.
Yeah.
I did multiplayer by myself against AI bots.
Oh, shoot. I still do that.
Like, you can be like the broad, and then you have like a blue guy and a red guy, and they're fucking transparent, and you go to this one level that I can't remember, and I would sit there with a sniper rifle and just watch them run across this path and ping them off, and I would do that for hours.
I love Perfect Dark. It's funny, though, that you didn't have the thing, though. That's funny.
I didn't know.
Never played it ever,
Never done the campaign, not one time ever.
A lot of people like that I've had on here, they talk about Perfect Dark is just one of the greats, I think, man. I think it was better than the GoldenEye for the 64, because I just think it was like everything plus more. You could play, like you said, like the GoldenEye. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't, if you didn't have a campaign in GoldenEye, you were done. You couldn't play it by yourself. No. Right? Okay. Now you have bots. Like, Perfect Dark introduced bots. It was such a game changer. Are you a big first-person shooter?
Yeah. Like I'll play like a Call of Duty, like a Warzone every now and then, but the cheating got me off of that, because there was a lot of cheating going on. I call it cheating. I just suck.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's what I was like when I was playing Halo. I don't play a lot of games online because I'm just not. Mm-hmm. I'm not at that. Like, certain games I will, like maybe like Mortal Kombat style, like fighting games, and I have AEW fight. I haven't played a lot, man. The first month of my daughter's life, I played a lot.
Okay.
Like, a lot, because she was just sleeping. She'd eat, shit, sleep.
She's just there.
It was, yeah. And so, like, I just have her on me, and I'd be playing, or whatever the case is. And now I haven't played in, like, 3 months, dude. Mm-hmm. I just don't know. Like, oh, my God. Like, how do people like The Rock do so many things and just have the time? It seems wild to me. Like, I do, like, a few things, and I'm, like, exhausted all the time.
Well, it's that 9 to 5 that we have.
Yeah.
The Rock doesn't have the 9 to 5, man.
Yeah, that holds a lot of weight. It does.
It's really, like, that's a big chunk of your day that you can't do anything. Like, I work 7 to 3, but in order to get to work, I have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning.
That is so brutal.
And then, because I don't drive, like, during the week, like, I borrow cars to get around, because I don't have a car anymore. But, so, like, I work in Oakville. I live in Toronto. I work in Oakville specifically so that I can pick my daughter up every second weekend to take her home, because they live in Oakville, so I can get the GO train from Oakville to take them home. But that means every other day I got to get up at 4:30 to leave at 5 to get to work for 7. And then I leave at 3 and I'm home by 5. Mm-hmm. So that's fucking 12 hours of the day.
And 5 days a week.
5 days a week.
Yeah, man.
And then you're tired as fuck when you get home, so you don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
I try to get out to those open mics, but I haven't done that in a long time. Because I get home, I change into the house clothes, I lay down. That's all she wrote.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. And it's bad, like, for me, like, I work in a kitchen, like, I'm a chef, like, 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. And, like, I come home after cooking, like, all this, like, fancy shit. And I'm like, fucking want to order. So like, I don't, man. And I've been trying to get back into doing, like, Muay Thai, but just haven't.
Yeah.
But the last 2 weeks, my buddy's like, hey, man, you know what? It's so weird. I literally hate leaving the house for like anything now because I have a daughter. I don't know if will that go away. Like I'm hoping that not that I will be happier that I leave them, but it's like nothing. It's like yes, having a kid is exciting, but like for some reason, it's like taking excitement away from other things. Or maybe I'm just in a lull, bro. Like I haven't, like I said, I'm performing. This is coming out in like 2 weeks. I don't know when it's coming out, but like today is my first set in a while, and I'm super nervous, and I only really have like 2 new jokes. I haven't been to open mics or really done like anything. I gotta kind of get back into because my shows are coming back in October.
Yep.
Lafeteria's on October 7th. The monthly show's October 21st. Both are happening at SoCap this month or in October. And probably I wanted to start a new show up that's kind of it's called Knee Slapper City, and it's kind of like the concept is there's gonna be 3 judges, so me, Laura Bazant, and then there's gonna be an audience member that is chosen that gets to like come up and sit, and like after each comedian we critique, and then we have like kind of like Olympic style judging things where we'll write numbers down. I basically got ones that are like whiteboards.
Yeah. Just
because I thought that was easier.
Makes sense.
And they vote, and then I guess the winner. My idea is the winner gets to headline the following show, or maybe like a future show. Yeah. So that's starting in November. So I'll have 3, and hopefully won't be cooking.
And all of those are at the SoCap.
What's that?
All of those are at SoCap.
Well, the monthly show and Lafeteria are happening at SoCap. I'm trying to bring the monthly show back to Comedy Bar, but and it might be what you said, like maybe I can't send emails. Like maybe I don't know how to word things because I'm just like too direct or not professional enough, or I don't know. Sometimes I overthink, but like dude's not getting back to me. Mm-hmm. That's all I know. So I gotta do something, I had booked the 21st for the new show because I thought I was gonna get a date at Comedy Bar, and I didn't get it. So now things just... It's how it works, man. There's a lot of ups and downs, and I've been out of the loop for a bit, so... I'm excited, though. I definitely want to get you coming back. You watching anything good right now? Have you checked out that Wrestlers show on Netflix?
It sucks.
It sucks. You think it sucks, eh?
It's not.
I'm like halfway through episode 2.
I watched all 7 just because I know a lot of the people who are on it.
Yeah.
And I was annoyed. They had a chance to do something different, and they did the same thing that all wrestling documentaries do. They created storylines that weren't there for reality-based purposes. And I was annoyed. I thought it would be different.
Anything specific? Like maybe like...
The guy who gets arrested... Oh, wait. You're not watching yet. Spoilers.
It's okay. I'm still gonna watch it.
There's a dude who gets arrested for doing drugs.
Yeah.
And then he gets kicked off the show by Al Snow. And then he's 50 days sober. And then he gets handed a pipe. And he starts smoking on camera. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, this seems unnecessary. Why do we have this right now? And it's more so to make one of the main characters look like the piece of shit that they are. Because they are a piece of shit. I talked to somebody who was on that show yesterday because I was on a Smash show in London with them. And they're like, they're not good people. So
yeah, well, sometimes people aren't good people. I guess you come across, I've met a couple sketchy people through wrestling, but most people I've met have been decent.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a percentage of shitty people in the world, like Woodstock, freaking ¡99 or whatever that happened, right? Mm-hmm. And it was like this big mess. There's like 250,000 people. I mean, like, out of those people, like, I mean, what, there's just at least 10 to 25% people that are just, like, assholes. That just for no reason are just dickheads, or maybe there is a reason or whatever, but it doesn't matter, at a certain point, it's like, you gotta accept responsibility for your actions, stop, like, blaming people, I feel like, But like, no kidding, that kind of shit would happen at Woodstock. Are you aware of like all that shit?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the Woodstock documentaries too.
Yeah.
That was a powder keg. That was, I don't know if it was poorly planned or if it was just like if it was rushed or whatever. But the tarmac and the water price and this, that, and everything, and it was a new generation trying to reenact something from a while ago that they just didn't have the capacity to do.
Yeah.
They didn't have there wasn't the ability to do it.
No, I feel like it was also like the beginning of like all these big music festivals just go. Since then, did you know Fyre Fest is coming back?
Okay.
Do you know about Fyre Fest, right?
Sure
the first
do.
one.
Yeah, let's buy a ticket to that. You fucking moron.
The pre-sale is sold out.
Of course it is.
Ridiculous,
you're
dude.
an idiot.
Like, what are we doing? Like, you guys and people just like, how are we allowing this guy to still do business? Like,
all of the streaming services made their own documentaries about how bad that fest was.
Yeah, man.
Sure,
I've seen
man.
just as many on that as I have the Woodstock.
I would love to go to that again. Sure, you're stupid. If anything bad happens at this new one that I didn't...
Bro, it's not even gonna happen. I doubt it's gonna happen.
That's what I mean. If you have bought a ticket to this thing that clearly is not great, you deserve it. It's on you. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me again. You're not gonna fool me again.
Yeah.
But you are, though.
Like, in all honesty, the first one, like, once I heard that, you know, all these people paid so much money to see, like, Ja Rule, I was like, you deserve it anyway. Like, I didn't feel bad for them anyway, you know? And I think they all got, like, their money back eventually. It was just, like, a long process. But, like, at the end of the day, like, what is America doing allowing this guy to even put on another festival?
It's the land of the free, pal.
It's crazy, man.
Home of the brave, land of the free. Speaking of Ja Rule,
Okay.
Have you heard that story where 50 Cent bought out the first 3 rows of one of his concerts?
Yeah, I did.
Just so, like, when he comes out on stage, there's
classic.
There's no one there.
It's so petty. It's been like 20 years, but you know, it's kind of funny.
It's so funny.
It is.
It's such a boss move.
And I heard he didn't pay like a lot for it. Like they were like discount, like Groupon type thing. I feel like that's...
Nah, they group on the first row?
No.
You group on the general
I don't know, man. But it's Ja Rule. Like, who's buying?
Somebody
I don't know.
is.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess
NSYNC's
so.
gonna have a reunion. Everybody's going.
Are they really?
I believe so.
That's not a good move. That's not a good move. The only one who doesn't bet... Justin Timberlake is the only guy, I think, in the history of, like, boy bands that I can think of who successfully, like, separated himself from that. I'm not saying, like, I'm a huge Justin Timberlake fan, but, like, he's arguably better than, or bigger than NSYNC was. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
So what...
I mean, I don't how dare you, Donnie Wahlberg, but, you know...
Or maybe they're just trying to Taylor Swift, you know, and just, like, sell...
7 shows in one venue?
What's the most expensive concert you've ever been to?
Me personally.
And how much was it? Do you go to concerts a lot?
I just recently went to Stained and Godsmack. And
dude!
I was there.
That was great.
It was fantastic.
I was there.
I went to see Stained. And,
yes, I did too. Yeah.
Godsmack ended up killing it, but I wanted to see Stained because I had never seen them live.
That was me too, man. I was like, this is like 16 years and whatever in the freaking make it. It was great. They were good too. They didn't talk a lot. It was just...
You just... Song.
I knew every song. It was great.
Oh, yeah. We were up on the lawns, and then I got a message from this guy, Dustin, who's a ring announcer for Smash, and a really good dude. And he's like, you can upgrade. I'm like, what's that now? You can upgrade for $30. And we got down to the floor.
No fucking way!
While we were on the lawn.
Why? For $30?
For 30 more. So,
I'm so mad.
I think I bought the ticket for $50.
Okay.
And we upgraded for $30, so I paid $80 to get on the floor.
So what is this app? How did you do this?
It was Ticketmaster.
It was Ticketmaster.
Yeah, man.
But it was just happening like through the show, and
like,
you just
while we were there, I guess. I don't know, man. It was weird. I'd never heard of it before.
Wow.
But it was
because I paid like $80, and I was like, we were in like the 400s. Yeah,
that's what I mean. It was rough.
Wow.
And I'm looking at this. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. There's no way. There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Travis and my brother Keenan are standing there like, we need to do this, right? Like, we're going to go down on the floor.
We are.
Like, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't really have the money. I was like, but hey. I mean, we got to...
Yeah, like...
Are we ever going to do this
pretty
again?
cheap.
I don't think we are, so we're going to go. And we went down on the floor, and it was fucking incredible.
It's like, you get a popcorn chicken, or you can go down on the ground.
Or
you want to be on the floor? Or?
Yeah, you get 1 can of beer.
yeah,
for
exactly.
18 bones. That's fucking atrocious, but I have so many.
It was a great show. And Godsmack, when they had the double drums set up, man, that was... They put on a good show. I kind of stopped listening to Godsmack for a bit. So I didn't know. After that show, I kind of tried to get into some of the newer stuff. Not necessarily my thing, but some of the older stuff I was really into.
I remember watching... The first time I saw Godsmack was on... Do you remember Farm Club?
Nope.
Okay. It was on Much Music. It was farmclub.com. And if you had a band, you could submit your band to Farm Club and try and get people to vote you up and like visit your page and click.
Yeah.
And if you had so ever amount of votes, you got to go on to their show and perform. But then you had like Godsmack and Cypress Hill and Stained and Disturbed and and this tiny little band from Toronto trying to get onto Farm Club, and it's never gonna happen because all of these other bands are also on Farm Club. On this week's episode, Incubus.
Yeah,
like,
right.
All right, man. Okay. I love Farm Club. It was Much Music has changed. Much Music's annoying.
Oh, so much, man.
I hate it.
So much. I mean, just the music landscape. Everything's changed, bro. Now that we're talking about the video games, like, that's all going digital. Like, my buddy who's way more into video games, he didn't even buy the disc drive for the new Xbox. He got, like, the cheaper one. I think it's all going digital.
Yep.
Like, I remember going into, like, Best Buy specifically to buy the Sting and Shaggy CD when that shit came out. They made an album together, bro. It's amazing, okay?
Hey, I'm not saying it's not. Right? I bought Shaggy's Christmas album, pal.
Oh, shit.
Right,
that's hilarious. Yo. So, okay. I'm going in the store. Go to where it usually is. Can't find it. Don't really like going to the person, but I suck it up because I'm like literally on my break from work. And they're like, we don't sell them anymore. It was like heartbreaking. Then like HMV closed down shortly after that. There's like one record store in all of Mississauga, man.
Really?
Yeah, it's wild.
The one that broke my heart is Sam the Record Man. Because it was a tradition that me and my dad, every Boxing Day, would go downtown. You'd walk through the Eaton Center, and then we'd break off from his lady, and we'd go to Sam the Record Man. And it was like 10 CDs for like $10 or something like that. Like Columbia House prices, you know?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It was so much fun to just walk around this record store with my dad. And then it closed down and it's gone now. And it breaks my heart, man. It sucks. It sucks so much. And before it closed, it turned more into a movie store than Sam the Record Man, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Happened with movies too. I'm like big on like collecting things.
Yeah.
And like I feel like it's happening with movies. It's happening with... What do you think's next? What do you think's next to go? I think it's cable, dude. I think once, like, I think sports is the only thing keeping cable alive.
Yeah, and even that's going to streaming services.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I got TSN Plus on the phone because it was free for 2
Yeah.
months. Yeah.
There it is.
And, like, it just
That's how
gives me
they get
notifications like, here, you can watch sports now. I'm
Yeah,
like, all right,
see how
thanks,
convenient
man.
it is? You get those 2 free months, and then you're hooked, man.
I go on FanDuel, and I bet, and it lets me watch the game on FanDuel. I don't have to leave the app. That's fantastic. Let's go.
You bet online?
Sure do.
You do, eh?
I am a degenerate. Which is
I
weird
bet
because
once.
I'm so cheap.
Yeah. Have you ever won, like, any...
I've won a few times. Like, nothing substantial, nothing huge. But I do every week for the NFL season a parlay and a prayer. It's $5, and I have, like, these ridiculous, like, huge parlays that are never going to hit. But if they do, because that's what the gambler does. If it does, like last week, I had a 15-legger and I went 10-5, which is really good, according to some people, because like I picked 10 right, got 5 wrong. So this week I got a 16-leg. I bet $5. If they all hit, which they won't, it's $118,000 on a $5 investment, and that's the gambler. I'm like, okay. Let's go.
How could you not?
I'm gonna keep doing this.
So you do it for like everything.
Yeah.
Like every is there a sport you're not into? Do you like bet on curling or some shit?
Okay,
Yeah,
I don't watch curling.
What about like Olympics? Can you bet on Olympic stuff?
You could actually.
Yeah.
You could bet on the Olympics, which was really weird because like, how do you know the odds of the Olympics? Like you're not following this.
I'm good. 100,000 on bobsled or some shit.
Brother, I bet on darts.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Because I am way into darts. I watch darts because the fucking announcing. Like, have you watched darts?
I haven't watched. I played. I can play.
Oh yeah, playing darts is super fun.
Yeah.
Watch darts. I'm telling you right now, it is the most exciting thing. Like, if you got a really good game going and they're 180 and the guy's in the microphone and the fucking crowd is bigger than so many crowds that I've seen and they're going nuts. Just getting drunk, watching screens, because you clearly cannot see these two fucking fat ass goddamn athletes throwing darts at the board up on a stage. You cannot see them. I don't care who you are. You're watching screens and drinking beers and yelling 180. It's the best. It looks so much fun. I want to do it. I want to go across the pond to watch a darts match.
Are you good? You play? Yeah.
No, I suck. I always thought you had to hit the bullseye. I'm wrong. That's not what you want to hit at all.
I always find some like really intense clips of like bowling or poker is like the new thing, I think. Or no, the new even poker, and then the newest new thing is I think that slap fight league.
That's nonsense.
That is
ridiculous. They drug test those people?
Really?
Yeah, man. Like the commission comes in and drug tests the slap fight guys. I think those folks, you ought to be able to let them.
Yeah, like
something. You know?
Yeah.
They're slapping each other in the face.
It seems real. Like it doesn't seem worth it to me. Like I'd rather fight in the UFC and get choked out than fucking just get slapped in the face for a half hour.
How bad at everything else do you have to be like? This is the one.
This is my thing.
This is what we do. And
professional slap fighter.
How do you figure out that you can get slapped in the face?
Yeah, right.
And be all right enough to go to round 3? Like, how many times do you have to get... It's like, I'm okay. All right.
Seems like it's blowing up, though, man.
I've never watched it.
I just see the clips, man. And they're always, like, something bad happening. And just... Dude's side of his face is just swollen up. I wonder how much they get paid.
There was the one clip that I saw, the dude with the bleach blonde hair, and I'm guessing... I don't know if he tattooed his eyes or if it was like Westmoreland contact style.
Yeah,
but he had like blackout eyes and tattoos and everything, and he's all like, and then this dude just smacks him the fuck out, and down he goes. I was like, oh, he's dead. That's a dead person. that's it for him.
That's not how you want to go. You know, I want to go like I don't even know, but like the most ideal way would be like with my lady sitting on my face, I think. That's just the coolest way, I think, to go. Not for my lady, but just for me. Probably the worst way to go for my lady.
Probably.
But the best way to go for me. You know? But definitely not slap fight.
It's just happening, and then you just stop. I was like, what's going on? What's happening?
Babe? That could be rough. Do you want to get into top 5 now, dude?
Sure, Tom.
I should have brought more water.
I'm all right.
What do you want to do first? Let's do comedians. Let's do comedians first.
All right. In any particular order?
You can do whatever you want, man.
Bill Burr.
Mm-hmm.
I love Bill Burr. I like Kevin Hart. I think Kevin Hart's funny.
I do too.
Bernie Mac, all time.
Yeah.
Kings of Comedy. That whole set, Bust a Head to White Meat, is the best.
Is that when they were all like, when there was like the super rowdy crowd?
Yeah.
That one? And he's like came out and he's like, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Oh, no, that's...
Is that one?
That's Def Jam. That's the very first one.
Yeah.
I'm scared of you motherfuckers.
That's good stuff.
No, the original Kings of Comedy one, where I guess he's making a comeback before he gets his TV show.
Okay.
And he closes it out with like Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer.
Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
And this is my sister's kids.
Yeah.
One is a little slow. You know? that whole bit, I'll watch that on repeat and I laugh every time because it's funny. Tom Segura. I love Tom Segura. That's 3, I think. I'm gonna count the Irish guy, even though he's named, because I'll watch that no matter what.
I'm gonna look into it.
And Hots. I love Hots.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I dig it. I got Rogan, number 1. Chappelle's my number 2. Mark Forward. Do you watch Letterkenny?
Yep.
See, he's the hockey coach.
Yeah. I've seen he was on a bunch of things.
Yeah, he's on Mr. D as well for a bit. He was on he's really like just the funniest minutes? Comedian that like he might have been.
I think so.
He wrote for a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
But just like dude from Oakville, really funny. And then Carlin. And then Burr as well.
That's the thing. There's so many, right?
Oh, dude, I could do so much. I'm really on Shane Gillis right now.
He is funny.
I discovered him not I knew who he was, and I did just never really watch like any of his specials. And then a buddy at work showed me like his YouTube special, and then just recently he came out with the Netflix one that was really good as well. He's a gem.
Like, and then there are like people who are like specifically on podcasts, because then I watch their stand up and I'm not a fan. Like Mark Normand.
Okay.
I think Mark Normand on podcast is the best. He's the best podcast guest of all time. But then I watched like his stuff and I'm like, it seems it's like really fast. Like he's just from one joke to the next joke.
That's how I feel about Brendan Schaub. He had a podcast with Theo Vaughn for a bit, and like that was great. That was like my favorite podcast at one point. And then I don't know, it's called something else, and Theo's not even on it anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know, but his stand-up is just not my thing, you know.
Yeah,
but at least he's trying, you know.
He's out there doing his thing, bro.
That's it, man.
If you don't do it, why? What the hell?
Well, you got to try it too. See if it's your thing. I think he's enjoying it, and like it seems like he's getting better and more comfortable on stage. He's but
making money, you know.
That's it, man. Superheroes.
All right. Wolverine, all day.
Yeah.
Cable, which is a weird one because
it's all right one.
I like Cable.
Yeah.
I used to have like a action figure of Cable, and he was like my figure champion. And Chip Hazard from Small Soldiers was also my figure champion.
Okay.
And I like had regular figures.
Yeah.
These two guys.
These are you guys
jacked. Batman, because Batman.
Yeah.
Superheroes. Hulk, but Edward Norton Hulk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, for
Edward
sure.
Norton Hulk is the best of all the Hulks. Hands down, except for Ferrigno. But, you know.
I see. Ferrigno was before my time. I think you can, but I mean, if you're old enough, you can.
Like I never watched him either. Like I wasn't alive when he was on TV, but like.
I want to say you can, just because I don't want to be in like 50 years and someone's like, "Do we even count the '90s Ninja Turtles?" And I'll be like, "Fucking right, you count the '90s Ninja Turtles."
Better count the '90s Ninja Turtles. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go! All right.
So I'll give Ferrigno. Give Ferrigno that, but he's not. Edward Norton
was the best one,
yeah.
And the fact that fell apart is annoying.
Yeah, it's a bummer. And now he's all just I don't know. Hulk is one of my favorite of like the Avenger characters, and they just kind of this Professor Hulk thing isn't doing it for me, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
See where it goes.
And I like the Guardians.
Yeah.
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 That's more than 5.
That's
there's
okay.
a lot of Guardians.
It's a cop-out. I do those too. I'm going to do it too. My number 1 is Batman. My number 2 is Ninja Turtles.
There we go.
So there's my cop-out.
Yep. Would you consider them superheroes? Or
I do. I do. In all honesty, like I've had
Batman's,
people also say...
Batman's just a guy with a lot of money.
Like, yeah. But I've had people say like wrestlers or like musicians even. They get real like... deep with it, you know? So it's really it's your interpretation, really.
That's fair.
But like I'm more classic. Like I collect comics. I remember the first time someone started naming like real people and I felt like shit. And I was like, all right, well, shout out to my Nana. I guess, you know, like she'd be my real life superhero. But
I understood 100% what you meant, sir. And
yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
They're superheroes.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, Red Hood.
Okay.
And then Arsenal. And then... Who am I doing? Man, I just recently, there's people upstairs. That's what happens when you film a podcast in a basement.
Hey, brother, that's just entertainment all day long. That's what that is.
What did I say?
That's
Batman,
Arsenal,
Ninja Turtles,
Red Hood.
Yeah, Arsenal, and Spider-Man.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so dream matches. Let's get into that. I'll go first,
Sure.
just because for me, like my dream, like I'm a ref, so I just did people I'd like to see you wrestle. I've done this before, and I've been like, obviously, I'm a big AEW guy. I'd fucking love to do fucking MJF. He's like my top guy right now, or I don't know, Randy Orton. Like, there's a lot of people that I would love to ref, but. I did 5 that I would like to see you wrestle. That would be amazing, I think. And there's more.
All right.
You know, I really, on number 5, I really had to, like, narrow it down just to get that last one. But first one for sure, Eddie Kingston. I think that would be great.
I've never met him.
No, it's all right.
Which is weird.
He's come up to, he's done some stuff for, like, Greektown or whatever. Then I'm going Billy Gunn. He came up.
I met Billy Gunn.
He is just... Man, he's also just deserving of being on, like, Funniest Wrestlers. Like, he never really got the TV time, but when I saw him live, dude, I mean, just hilarious.
Billy Gunn is a gigantic human being.
He is. So that's my number 2. Keith Lee would be my 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Samoa Joe, 4. And then 5... And this was hard, but I ended up going with Dexter Lumis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam Shaw. I met. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I met Sam Shaw.
Yeah. He's great. And he was just on Tacoma FD.
Okay.
Do you know that show?
Yeah, I tried to get into it, and it was tough.
Yeah.
Because I like the Broken Lizard fellas.
Yeah.
I'd like them a lot, but it was hard to get into the show.
Okay, well, he was on the recent season.
That makes sense with that mustache.
And it was decent. Yeah, they were basically like, kind of like the clone versions of the A shift. They were like the C shift. And so, yeah, but it was pretty good.
Samoa Joe's story. I had a chance to be on a show with Samoa Joe wrestling Chris Hero for Smash. And I had never been to a Comic-Con before. So I thought it was okay. My son's mom bought us tickets to the Niagara Falls Comic-Con so that I could meet Opie from Sons of Anarchy, because he's one of my favorite TV characters. And then I got to the Comic-Con, and it ended up being super expensive. And I was really annoyed, because I could have been on the Samoa Joe show that got so much exposure and actually got a lot of people signed.
That's a bummer, man.
It is what it is. But I met Shooter McGavin. That was fun.
I went to one Niagara Falls Comic Con, and it was to meet Jaleel White.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was expensive. They're always, bro, I haven't gone for a long time. And they're not getting cheaper. It's like concerts. Like, dude, the most expensive concert I went to, okay, well, not now. Okay, now it was probably Chili Peppers recently. But, like, so in, like, 2001 or 2002, like, early 2000s, it was a summer sanitarium tour, dude.
Yep.
Okay? Metallica, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Mudvayne, Deftones, loved all the bands. They were all huge at the time. And it was like $115, dude. And now people are paying like $2 to sit in the nosebleeds to see Taylor Swift.
Let me tell you, right?
What happened, man?
I like Luke Combs, which is a weird one because country is not really in my... But I like this guy, and he was coming to Rogers Center. And I'm like, all right, let's see. $320 for the top shelf. I'm like, you can fuck yourself, champ. There's no way. Concert tickets are outrageous.
Yeah, I can't see. It's slowing down. Like, people paid for that. Like people in the U.S. were like praising Taylor Swift for, like, I don't know, doing good for the economy and shit. And it's like, how is this okay? I don't even think she's good. She's no Miley Cyrus. That's for damn sure. You know? But I still wouldn't pay fucking that. Oh, my God. I can't think of anybody I would pay $2 to see. It would have to be, like, a big thing. Like, and back then, there was so many good festivals, dude. There was, like, one where it was, like, Eminem, Exhibit, Cypress Hill, Papa Roach, like all the, you know, and they just had these, and they were like $60, you know,
concerts,
like.
Yeah. Because they were going to make their money, you know, like the price of everything is going up. Like to rent the venue, I'm sure, is ridiculous. That's why you got to make these ticket prices so huge. I remember Summer Sanitarium being such a huge deal because, like, the concert was going on, and then they would do their set and get off and go to Much Music for an interview set at the same time while the concert was going on.
Okay.
And Much Music, I went to Much Music.
Okay.
Because it was fucking packed, and, like, you would see all the people. But they would come from the Sky Dome to Much Music. That's how big this thing was. So, like, when you brought that up, I'm like, I remember this.
Yeah, it was a big deal. So what you got for dream matches, though?
Arn Anderson. I really love Arn Anderson. Rob Van Dam, who is the guy who got me back into wrestling. Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn, that match, Hardcore Heaven, best wrestling match I've ever seen. Hands down. Kurt Angle. Just because Kurt Angle's fucking super underrated and should be up there with the greats of all time and isn't talked about enough. Undertaker. Because I love Undertaker. I bill myself at 297 pounds, which is 30 pounds lower than I actually am because The Undertaker was 297 pounds.
Okay.
And it's also a weird number. You're a multiple of 5 when you put your weight out there. You either round up or you're like 20 or 25 or something. 297. That was a weird number, and I liked it. And I know that's why he did it, because it's not the same number that everybody else is gonna have. And fifth one, I don't know. It's The Rock, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have dream opponents. I don't know.
All right. Do you have like a favorite match that you've wrestled so far? Yeah, like
my favorite.
Yeah.
There's 2. There's a fatal 4-way with myself, Brent, Banks, Kevin Bennett, and Daniel Garcia for Smash. And it is nuts. It's raucous. The crowd is crazy. I do stupid things. And it's on YouTube. If you want to watch it. That's
definitely
fun. And the other one is a match that nobody's ever seen unless you were there, because I don't think they released it. It's me and Brent, again, because Brent is one of the best wrestlers of all time. First match for the Northern Tournament in the first round. Kingdom. Have you met Kingdom before?
I know who he is. I haven't met him.
Kingdom told me afterwards that me and Brent was the match of that tournament. And no one talks about it because no one's seen it. I haven't even seen it. But it was really fun.
Dig it out of the archives if there is a video.
Yeah.
All right. I dig it. I'm definitely going to check out the first match for sure.
That one is on YouTube. I watch it on a regular basis because I do a really, really stupid thing that I've done since then, and it's never been the same. But it is cool.
Suicide dive.
I do those all the time.
Okay.
I did a taker dive in that one, though. Right at the very beginning, Bennett has this huge entourage of people because his character, he's a rapper.
Yeah.
So he's got a huge entourage, and they all come out, and they're around here, and he's facing hard cam and doing his pose, and Brent is here and I'm here, and we both do taker dives up over the top rope onto the posse down below, and it's super awesome.
All right.
The crazy thing that I do, I'm on the top sitting. Dan Garcia comes and he's beating me up and he's gonna give me a Rana, and I stop him from giving me the Rana, and I throw him up in the air and trap his arms and give him a power driver off the top rope.
Holy shit!
It's nuts. And then I don't win, but
I don't win. But
it's the like I thought about it and then actually doing it.
Wild.
Made me feel good.
That's a crazy move. All right, let's do funniest wrestlers.
All right.
You want to start with that one?
Rich Swann.
Okay.
Is one of the funniest. Tarek is one of the funniest people of all time. Kingdom is a funny guy, but like unintentionally funny, because he's just an old crotchety man who gets angry at things.
Tarek is super funny though. I agree with that.
Pretty Ricky.
Yeah.
Brendan. Holden Albright.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny. He's funny. He makes me laugh.
See, I went with more like mainstream dudes. I feel like.
I haven't met a whole lot.
But
of
I could.
dudes.
I could definitely see. For me, it was like if I was going outside of the wrestling world, my number one would be John Cena for sure. I think he's so funny. But like as far as I've never really been a fan of him in the ring. It's weird, and I don't know if his character was the funniest in the ring. Like he had funny moments.
He was at a time where the heavy stuff was turned down because it was more about getting the kids back into it. So that, like in the 80s, Hulk Hogan was for the kids, who then grew up with Hulk Hogan, became the adults, and kept spending the money. And then they just reset that. And now John Cena, when you're the kids, and now you're growing up, and now John Cena's gone, but now you got everybody else. You still got to buy the tickets. So I think that's the stage that it goes through.
But yeah, like he's done really well in like movies.
Oh, yeah.
And Peacemaker was great. But yeah, so for me, The Rock is number one.
Yeah.
This might not like when I said this to my buddy, he felt weird about it, but Stone Cold is my number two.
He's hilarious.
He definitely had like just like really iconic moments, just like with the beer truck and like when he even went like heel and he was playing guitar wearing like cowboy hats and shit. Like that was really funny. Jericho is my number three. Santino Marella is my number four. I think he just like as far as just straight funny characters, like he's on the top. And then Ric Flair, not necessarily always for what he said on the mic. Like he had a lot of charisma and stuff like that, but Ric Flair for just like doing things like the stalled like sell where he would just walk away and then just drop on his face like that. And that is so common now, but like when it wasn't, and he's
the
like,
Flair flop.
Yeah, there you go. Is that like an actual term?
Yeah.
All right. There's a lot of like
the Flair flop, which is walking and then falling, and then there's the Flair bump, which is the
off the top rope.
Yeah, it's a Flair bump. That's what we call it, which is really fun.
Yeah, I feel like anytime he was going up to the top, you just knew, like, no matter how.
Until the one episode of Raw where he finally hit the chop off the top. And
oh wait,
like,
did he?
Wait a minute! And they made like a big deal about it because he always gets caught, and then
yeah,
it's a Flair bump.
All right, dude. Let's end with Sevendust songs. You said this shit, dude, and I like Sevendust is one of my favorite bands of all time.
All time, man.
So it's good. It was kind of hard to actually do this. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
It's up to you.
All right, I'll go first. Rumblefish. First of all, the Home album, like that was my introduction to Sevendust. So like literally every song on that album is gold to me. I mean, there's like a weird like 12-second thing that's not, I don't know, but great album. Then I'm going Face to Face off the Seasons album.
Yep.
Then Praise off Animosity. Another Animosity was another one that I was just like, I really enjoyed it from the beginning to end. I feel like a lot of music, like that's what is also missing from the music industry is just like whole albums. Yeah. Like those kind of like experiences, where you go through like all these emotions and by the end of it, it's just like, it holds more weight than just putting out singles.
Yeah.
Then Bitch from the first album, and then Denial. I don't have a lot of new stuff, but...
Denial is the first Sevendust song I ever heard.
Me too.
I thought it was wild. This is going to sound racist, that it was a black singer.
Okay.
Doing heavy metal. I'd never seen that before.
Yeah.
Which drew me to them, and then I listening to the song, and the music video is just your typical early 2000s like music video.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a Sevendust concert where they play Bitch?
I've never seen them live.
Well, sir, what they do is they start dun, 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 like the beginning.
Yeah.
And Lejean, he's like, all right, I want everybody going around in a circle.
Yeah.
Everybody. And then he won't start the song until everybody is going around in a circle. And then I can't imagine. And then everybody does the mosh. Everyone on the whole fucking floor.
Yeah.
And it is a euphoric moment. It's crazy.
Yeah.
When you see everybody doing the circle It's so cool. My Sir Angel Son is number 1 for me. Crucified. Denial is on that list. Confessions of Hatred, which is one of the newer ones. I blanked. Licking Cream. That's 4.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And Waffle.
Yeah.
Waffle is a great one, and that's a great music video too, where it's just going through all the eras of different music and the kids dressed up like their favorites. It's fun.
Yeah, music videos suck nowadays, dude. I'm just being honest.
They
I don't see a lot, but
they do suck.
They're just not great. Yo, man, it's really kind of a bummer that I haven't seen. We were talking about that. How many times have you seen them live?
7.
Appropriate. Did you get down for Stained on the floor? I forgot to ask.
I did.
We did.
We did the upgrade. The $30.
No, but you got to see Stained while you were on the floor.
Yeah. So we did
the crowd was a little whack on the floor for Stained. I was like, why are they?
We were just standing.
Why?
I was looking.
I was going nuts in my seat.
I was looking for bits and I couldn't find any. It was really weird because, like, I guess the people who were there for Stained are our age, you know. So we don't want to hit each other. I don't really want to do it anymore. I get hurt all the time.
If it's an option, if it's the only option, I'll be there.
I was looking, and it wasn't there. I'm like, all right. Mud Shovel, I think there was one, but
yeah, I do like moshing, but it's definitely not how like where I'm in for like a whole band.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, I'll wait for this song, and I'll pop in for like a minute, and then
hey guys, how's everything going in here? All right, I'll just be over here.
You guys having a good time? Right on.
Yeah, we missed the first Stain song because we did the upgrade, and then I'm just showing the upgrade on my phone to the security people. They're like, no, you have to go get a wristband. I'm like, fuck. And then we're
that was the new song they played. Lowest in Me.
Oh, okay. So
that was the first song.
I didn't miss anything. Then I wasn't there for that.
All right, dude.
There for the hits.
Boom. I really like the new stuff though. They have like I don't know, 3 songs now, and 2 out of the 3 I'm like really into. You can take one too, bro.
Right. Is that anywhere?
Yeah, pick whatever.
Here we go.
Okay, that's a weird.
We already talked about this.
Okay. What do you remember about the neighborhood you grew up in?
That I was the only one of me, my man.
Yeah?
Yeah. I grew up in a neighborhood that was a lot of black people. And myself and a couple others. I've actually made a joke about my grade 8 graduation picture. They have like those gimmicks where it's like everybody in the grade on like a big poster. You can spot me. Like from far away.
Okay.
It's one of those situations.
I got you.
Which is fantastic because I learned a lot more about different cultures and different people than I ever would have.
Yeah.
Like that's why, like I'm very much into reggae.
Yeah.
And dancehall and calypso and all these things I never would have known about had I not been with those
You like
people.
Skin Dread?
I sure do.
Yeah. All right.
I thought they come to take over.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, man.
I dig it. My foster, I said I maybe touched on it earlier, but I was raised in like foster homes and like moved around a lot. So I don't really have like one neighborhood, but like, I don't know, man. Like when I say my foster dad, when I refer to my foster dad, it's because like the last place I lived at before I moved out on my own. And he was a Jamaican dude too. So I had a lot of like Caribbean and black influence on my life too. And, I also am really into reggae, and I also rubbed off on them too, and it was cool, man. I remember going to like BC for, I don't know, summer vacation just to see like my nana or something for like 2 weeks. And when I came back, like 2 of my like brothers were like, yo, like let me look. And this was like before like YouTube was a huge thing, right? This is like just after like, I don't know, Linkin Park released Hybrid Theory, like that era. I don't know, it was like early 2000s, you know, whatever, maybe 2001. And I caught back and they were like trying to fight over who got to listen to Hybrid Theory first because I hadn't been there and hadn't listened to it in the house for a while. And I was like, oh, it's so nice to see me rubbing off on them as well, you know? But yeah, I didn't really have one neighborhood. So, I don't know. What you got?
How well do you receive criticism or advice?
It depends on who's giving it to me and who. There's so many variables, man.
Mm-hmm.
It could be across the board. Like there's no set way that I'm gonna like react. It's generally like the people that have the wisdom. You know, I don't like. Okay, so let's just say this. So we're watching. You watch the wrestlers or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And like in the beginning, they're all talking when OVW gets bought out, and it's Al Snow and the one guy who doesn't know anything about wrestling, and all the wrestlers are like, we listen to Al, we don't listen to the other guy. That's kind of like how I am too. It's like if I feel like I'm not trying to take advice from people that shouldn't be giving advice, you know, and I don't know. So it really just depends. What about you?
I'm my own worst critic.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how I feel too.
But taking advice and criticism, I'll on the opposite side of the coin from me. I'll listen to everybody, not necessarily to take everything that they say, but maybe they'll say something that's like, I don't see it from that perspective. So maybe I'll take that advice.
Yeah.
The one thing that I say about wrestling, there's no one person that can teach you everything.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't exist. It's kind of like a salad. Like, do you like Caesar salad? So you want lettuce, Caesar dressing, croutons. You just want 3 things. My salad is different from your salad.
Mm-hmm.
You want a Cobb salad, you know? You want a whole bunch of other things, and then you take from everybody and you make your salad.
Yeah.
Like, there's people that, maybe you shouldn't take advice from them, but on the same token, they're looking at it from a different perspective from that person who has been around forever.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a different perspective. It's good to listen and be like, all right, maybe. I don't think you know what you're talking about, but let me think about it for a second. Maybe you're right.
I agree with that. When it comes to, especially like the things that I'm passionate about, like you mentioned, like comedy, that's definitely one thing. Wrestling is another thing, where it's just like, I try not to, like, there's certain things where I definitely want to soak it all in and try to take, like, understand where everyone's coming from, because, like, you want, I mean, there's a fine line between, like, you know, compromising, like, your beliefs to give people what they want, and also, like, you can still do it and be yourself at the same time. And I think I forgot what the question was.
Criticism and advice.
Yeah.
How well do you take it?
I think with things like comedy, for me, and wrestling, specifically those 2 things, I like to think about what the fan likes as well. It's not just like what the performers are like. Because, okay, so Aubrey, the ref, Aubrey fucking whatever. Aubrey Edwards, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Before I got into reffing, like, just from a fan's perspective, like, I enjoyed watching her. I thought she added something to it. Like, I didn't think she took away too much. I think there's definitely a line. Like, she was in a match, and I was like, I don't think, like, this is what you said, where, like, you're not a wrestler, and you are legitimately taking a spot away from a wrestler. Mm. You know, I don't want to see Aubrey wrestle, but, like, from a fan's perspective, I liked her, and then I got into reffing, and, like, all the refs are like, she's shit. And I was like, well, like, I'm not saying she's the best, you know, but, like, before I knew a lot about wrestling, I liked her, and I think that should hold some weight, too. Like, I understand you guys are, like, professionals, you've been into this world for however long you've been into it, but, like, from a fan's perspective, I liked her, and I think that means something, and I think that kind of goes along with what you're saying.
I think the people that don't like her are saying it the wrong way. They don't like her style.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You don't have to like everybody's style. You're not going to like everybody's style. Mm-hmm. But somebody does. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's wrong. And I think a lot of people, when they don't like something, it's wrong. And it shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
That's not the case. That's not true.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Too many people, I think, nowadays have, like, a think my way or else attitude, and it's, I don't know.
It's like the Ricky Gervais thing. I saw it the other day.
What thing?
He said, I don't like it when people say that joke is offensive. What he would rather they say is, I found it offensive. Just because you found it offensive, that's you. That's your feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make the joke offensive.
Yeah.
You didn't like it. Somebody else might like it. And I think I want to live. That's how I want to live. Like, you have the ability to make your own decisions. If you don't like something, you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to be like, you can't deal with it either. This person shouldn't be allowed to do these things. You don't like it, you don't like it. Just look the other way. I don't know. It's weird. It's like a weird thing. Because there are things that you can't look the other way on. So that doesn't work.
Right, dude. Have you ever had a lucky break or a case of synchronicity?
Ever had a lucky break? Doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
No. A case of synchronicity. I mean, I guess like small ones when it just comes together, like by accident.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, all right, I didn't think it was supposed to happen, but then it does. Like, this wasn't supposed to work, and then it did. That's synchronicity, right? Like, it syncs up.
I guess I would say so.
Yeah. I think nothing that springs to mind, because I'm a miserable person.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever had a lucky break.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah.
I'm still looking for myself. I'm with you, bro. I don't know. I don't know if those are real. You know, but like, you know, opportunities do come up, and if there was ever a lucky break, I would walk through the door happily.
Absolutely.
All right, what you got? Last one.
Do you expect to live a long life? Why or why not?
Okay, so having the baby kind of changed how I feel about that. Do I expect to? No, not really. Realistically, I don't know if I'll live to be a senior citizen. I went hard. I did a lot of, like, I've been, like, over 10 years, like, clean and stuff. Like, I smoke weed. I barely drink. Like, I went hard with some stuff, like, early on, you know, because I lived on my own when I was, like, 17. I was, like, that guy that everybody went to's place to fucking party. I was in high school living on my own, you know? Like, it went exactly how you think it went.
A lot of drawings on the walls there, brother.
Yeah, so, I don't know, man. I would say, I guess, just no. No, I would expect to die somewhere in my early 60s. But now that I have the baby, I want to live longer. I've never cared. I've always been like the guys like, when I go, baby. I'm on, you know?
Yeah.
And then I had the kid and I'm like, fuck, like I gotta stop doing something. I gotta eat healthier. I gotta have breakfast more often and shit, you know? Like, you know what I mean though?
I get you.
Yeah.
I skip breakfast every day.
It's just like little things like that where it's like, fuck. I want to be around.
Wait till she starts walking and talking, brother. And like words. It changes everything. I'm in your boat. I didn't expect it. Because, like, Granddad lived a long time, but my dad passed away early. But he was also very, very sick. And, like, I should use him as a caution to, like, take better care of myself. But I don't. And I should.
Have you ever had any, like, horrible injuries or anything like that?
Surprisingly, no.
Okay, well, that's good.
Not. Although I've been, like, hurt for roughly 10 or 11 years. But that's just... It's not. But in my brain, it's just... why I can't think of it. I can't think of the phrase that it is. Like, it's supposed to... Like, I'm supposed to be hurt. Because I've been wrestling. I chose to be hurt. So, like, my back...
Self-inflicted? I don't know. Well, it's probably not it.
No.
That's alright.
Yeah, I'll think of it when I'm, like, in the car on the way home. I got hurt doing a Booker T camp. I went to Texas to do a Booker T camp, and then he put me on his show, Reality of Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in a rumble, and the guy decided it was my turn to be eliminated and didn't tell me. And he gave me a clothesline, and I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready to spring myself up and back.
Mm-hmm.
So my back ended up on the top rope, and I bent on the rope, and then came back down and fell in the ring. And right there, my back has been ever since, and that's 10 years. And I've never... That's a lie. I did go to the doctor for something else and told him about my back, and he said stop wrestling. And that's why I don't go to doctors. Because if I go to doctors, all they're going to tell me to do is to stop wrestling, and that's not help. Although maybe it is. Because maybe if I stop wrestling, I won't be hurt anymore.
Well, it's also, it's like if you get, it's your source of happiness or one of your sources of happiness, it's going to...
And then, where are you then?
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, did I expect it? No. Do I want to? Just like you. Yep. I got to see those kids grow up.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
So I've taken steps to be better. But it's nowhere near where I should be.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
I don't take care of myself at all. I don't.
It's hard, man. All we can do is, try.
It was a rough question.
I know. Way to end the fucking podcast with such a...
Give us a happy one there, pal.
You can let these people know where to get at you, I guess, man.
On all of the socials that matter, I am at Greed Wrestling. That's Instagram, X.
Oh, yeah.
Although I'm never on that. I don't even look at it anymore. It's more Instagram stuff like that and TikTok. Twitch.tv/Greed Wrestling. Sunday to Wednesday.
All right.
Usually at night. And in terms of wrestling, this is 2 weeks, you said?
Yeah.
I got a lot in October.
All right.
I don't even like search the Instagram and you'll see all the stuff that I got going on in October.
Good to be busy, man.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure having you here, brother.
Thank you, dude.
Like always, guys, this podcast is brought to you by Neon Light District. Hit them up. Use code PillowTalk to save 10%. And by The Great North Apparel. Hit them up. Use code PillowTalk to save 30%. Go get your tickets to Lafiteria on October 7th. Go get your tickets to the monthly show on October 21st. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace the fuck out.